Hello, this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chiles, and I'm going to show you how we take a plant, a seedling this tiny, from there to here in 3 weeks. Let me explain. The first thing we do is we have these pots that are 2.5 by 2.5 by 3-inch deep. We buy them in quantity, but you don't have to buy as many as us from Greenhouse Megastore. This is a 1020 tray, which is a reservoir tray, and it'll fit 32 of these pots. Okay? So we load these pots with Ocean Forest. We take and make a hole all the way down to the bottom as far as we can, and we add in the plant hole. You have two options. So what we use is Extreme Gardening Granular Mycos, a beneficial bacteria to help with root growth and development. So we put a pinch of that in the hole. But if you don't want to buy Extreme Gardening, you can get Epsoma Garden Tone, which is an organic fertilizer that has beneficial bacteria mixed in with it, and put a pinch of that in the hole. Either way, you want to get some beneficial bacteria into the plant hole. Okay? Then, take your pots, put them in your tray, and add about a 1/2 inch of water for them to wick up from the bottom. Don't top water. Top watering can cause fungal issues on the surface of the soil and cause seedlings to die off. So you want to water from the bottom. So no fertilizer except for the beneficial bacteria, organic fertilizer, or beneficial bacteria in the plant hole. Also, Ocean Forest contains a little bit of organic fertilizer mixed in. So the first week, you're going to put them under lights, and you don't really need to do anything with nutrients. Just make sure that the soil's nice and moist that you plant into the small pot. Now, I'm going to show you step 2. Steps 1 was plant the seedling in your pot of soil as deep as possible with beneficial bacteria in a 1020 tray that you can add water and nutrient to in the bottom. Now I'm going to show you step 2. The lights we use, which used to be about $130, $140 on Amazon, now as low as $75, $80, are the Spider Farmer 1000 and the Vivasun 1000. You don't need to go any more than that. These lights will help you grow plants 4 by 4 foot square area. But if you want to accelerate the growth of your seedlings and get done faster, like I just did in the 3-week time period, what you want to do is you want to take these lights, and I have these on pulleys so I can lower them in any way I want. But these lights, normally you'll keep 2.5 to 3 feet above your little baby plants. But if you want to accelerate the speed of your growing, drop them down to about 1.5 feet above your seedlings. And you see this controller here? Put it at like between 40 and 50%. Okay? For the first week, 40 to 50% light intensity, about 1 to 1.5 feet above your seedlings. On the second week, add in some organic nutrient like fish emulsion, kelp extract, something like that, mixed with water appropriately. You can dilute it down a little bit if you want to be extra safe so you don't burn your seedlings, but I haven't seen any burning doing that. So the first week, feed them that in the bottom of your 1020 tray. And that's the second week. I'm sorry, that's the second week. The first week you add no nutrients. The second week you add the nutrients. Okay? Then turn your lighting up to about 75% of capacity. Okay? That's week 2. Week 3, the beginning of week 3 isn't over yet. Add in some diluted blue nutrient. Now, what do I mean by blue nutrient? Like Miracle Grow, 20-20-20, 15-5-15. Dilute it a little bit. Add that into the bottom of your tray the beginning of week 3. Now you can turn your lighting up to 100%. So the Spider Farmer 1000 and the Vivasun 1000 both come with pulleys, so you can adjust the height. Now, if you don't have a way of adjusting the height, like I said, you can take a box or some other object and put your tray 1.5 feet away from the lights. So we're going to be 1.5 feet away from these lights. Again, this is the Vivasun 1000, Spider Farmer 1000. I think they're about $80 on Amazon. And they'll last you many years because you're only going to use them 1 or 2 months. And that's it. Okay? So that's what happens. 3 weeks from small seedling to what the plants I'm going to show you again. So late in the evening of May 29th, these plants were planted. So officially its first day in the soil pots of Ocean Forest was May 30th. So today it's the 17th or 18th. So you got the 31st, 30th, 31st, 18th, approximately 21, 22 days is what you're looking at right now. These are Capsicum chinense varieties, the ones that grow slower than annuums or baccatums species. And so we went from this to this. Now these are outdoors. We're acclimating them to the humidity and the air quality outdoors and the sun. Oh, the lights that I used, they were on 16-hour cycles. So 16 hours on, 8 hours off. Forgot to mention that. And you can have a fan blow on the plants, which will also strengthen them and keep the moisture from getting too moist on the top of the surface of the soil, which you don't want moisture on the top of the surface of the soil because that breeds fungal stuff, which can kill and die off a seedling very easily. So you can just get a household fan, have it a few feet away. Now, I could transplant these to 1-gallon size pots or even a 5-gallon size pot right now. But I want there to be a stronger, more tight-knit root structure underneath these plants in the pots. So I would give it another week. So that would be a month. Now, normally, when people are growing baby plants, they're not ready for transplant till like 6 or 7 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks. Okay? But these will be ready to transplant to a 5-gallon or 7-gallon pot at the 5-week mark, from between 4 and 5 weeks, which is phenomenal. So this is how quick you can get a seedling to go. You start off with a good soil mix, beneficial bacteria for the roots. I'm reviewing this right now. Get them underneath good LED lights, close to the LED lights, but at a lower frequency, a lower intensity. The first week, up the intensity. The second week, up the intensity. The third week, week 2, and beginning of week 2 and beginning of week 3 is when you do feeding. You could go all organic feeding, or you could go with diluted blue nutrient like 20-20-20 or Miracle Grow. If you're going to go with something as high as 20-20-20 or Miracle Grow, I recommend you cut it by 50% so your seedlings don't burn. But you will go from this to this in about 21 days' time. And I think you all would be happy with this. I think you understand. This right now, these plants are ready to transplant, but I want to get a more denser, stronger root system in the pots. So when I plant them, they can withstand the higher summer temperatures and more stress, okay? So, any questions? This is Jim Duffy, Refining Fire Chiles. Go from this to this in 3 weeks' time. It can be done. Take care.